Now, psychiatrists say that if you can trace the origin of your fear, it will disappear.
You see, the songs, though, is what I do. And I see no end.
All right, can you give us your name and why you're here?
My name's AB, and I'm here to give a mini doc about my life and where I've been so far. Yeah, as a child, my parents were like divorced very early. CPS would always be in our house and come into our schools, taking us out of schools. So just seeing division in the house early, there was always strife between either my parents or like my mom with us because we were, fighting, wanting to be with our dad, not understanding the differences between them. And it would make it really hard. And as I grew up, it started to make me search for stimuli outside. Like I read somewhere that when you're a kid, if you have a lot of stimuli in your house, you'll search for stimuli everywhere or chaos everywhere. And depending on if it's negative or positive, depends on what you attract or what you go search out for. So I was searching out for negative stimuli. It got me into like drugs pretty early, like I'd say like 14. And just always having strikes in my house, I tried to find a way of escape from that, or just the pain of like not having my dad, my mom not understanding me because of my journey. So yeah, different things like that. I'm already a Gemini, so I experience mood swings all the time. And then it got added into when like the drugs, I would say like really pills was bad because at first I would wanted something that really lifted me up, and the crash is horrible, man. You start to realize, like, think about somebody like Juice World, all the sad songs he makes. I understand what he feels because you'll be up, you're having fun, you're lit, and then man, when you crash, it's like you're just depressed. The whole world is on you, and you still have to deal with those problems. Yeah, it started when I was 14. I noticed my brother was smoking, and I started smoking with him. He was also drinking at that time. I was just trying to find an escape because one, I was realizing that I was gay, which was already not really cool at that time, and I didn't want to tell my mom or nobody really understood me. Like one time, my little brother told me like he wished he could kill all the gays, but he won't because I will, and like I took a lot of hate from my family and other people because of that. So not understanding myself made me have self-doubt. Traumas with already in my family fighting, and then yeah, just that self-doubt from myself made me not understand myself and seek comfort in drugs. So I just used drugs to feel okay and just, level out. I would say it was 2021. I fell out of college, lost my scholarship because I was doing drugs and like messing with this girl and just ruined kind of my life. And I realized I was just empty. There was, how I told you that crash about with pills and just drugs in general. It was just a crash, and I was like, man, this is not what I'm meant for. I genuinely want to help people and live a better life, and this is not what I'm meant to do.
Yep, her president is black. She black, purple label on her back. But that dab, just like she take it straight to the head.
Music was something that came to me naturally as a kid. I think when I was like crying in the womb, one of my mom's friends said, "Oh, I can tell that your baby's gonna be able to sing." And when I was younger, I heard somewhere that the first rhythm we hear as children is our heartbeat in our mother's womb. And so percussion was actually my first love. I love drums, and I just think that cadence is something spiritual. So yeah, I just kind of dove into music from there. I play guitar, I sing, and I rap as well. Yeah, I would say guitar is like, it's something that accompanies the intention behind your words. And sometimes you can't always say what you're feeling with your words. So if you've heard like a guitar solo in a really song that's like maybe like a rock song or something that really made you connect with your feelings, guitar sometimes will be in that solo, something that you just couldn't say with the words. I feel like with singing is like energy. So everything in nature produces some type of sound or frequency. And so when you're singing, whatever you're saying is producing that frequency. And the same with rap, it's rhythm and poetry. You're just putting a rhythm to it and either making people connect or heal, or you're destroying something, Originally, it's always been like my experiences from pain. I try to make more like fun songs now and just enjoy my life, but it definitely started from like the pain I felt as a child. 100%. It's journaling, it's poetry. Yeah, it helps me more. And then I realize after you release it that it can help other people who relate. I think Kendrick Lamar's albums, a lot of his albums make me reflect on my journey, like The Damn, even his Untitled album, really a lot of his things. ADHD, he has a lot of them. Is there a connection with music and God? Yeah, I feel like music, in a sense, within all of us is God because I think God is within you, and whatever your experiences are is what you reflect in art. So God, I think, gives everybody a message to give. So I started eating healthy probably in like 2022. So I would be working out and I'm like, yo, my body's not changing. What's going on? And then you realize you're like, oh, the food. So I started using meals not only to look better and get more tone, but it was also once I learned food is energy. And I heard somebody saying that your brain and your body is like a computer. Whatever you put in your gut, which is, like your instinct of life, it tells you when you have butterflies or when you're scared. Whatever you put in your gut is directly connected to your brain. So when you're putting in bad foods, you can't even make the right decisions. You can't even sleep correctly. You can't process things the way you need to. So you're not living as optimally as you could if you just don't eat right. And that inspired me to do that. Actually, that was my first outlet from substance abuse. So I started working out, and it came from people I would see on Instagram that were working out. You just see the body, and you're like, I want that kind of body. So I started working out, and it became a thing of discipline and just an outlet for me. I was almost like music. So I was like, wow, I'm able to look good, feel good, and being out in nature, doing runs, doing walks. I had a connection with the divine like that. It made me feel better, I realized, and it lasted longer than just doing a drug and coming back down. I think it was the women in my life that helped me with that. I kind of have like a hard work bug. And once I get into something, kind of like with addiction, it's like I'm in there. And they would be like, you need to relax. Like, I also realized your body starts to atrophy. You can't get as many gains and things as you need if you don't rest. But I was like, I started neglecting my spiritual side and like my communicative side with other people, making friends, because I was just so hard about going to the gym. So I had to take some time to relax. That helped me see that. So on the day to day, I usually do salmon for lunch, salmon, sweet potatoes, and then broccoli. The reason I do that is because you have to have a healthy carb, and then your protein, and then your vegetable. So for breakfast, I'll probably do some egg whites or some eggs on top of some Ezekiel bread. Lunch, I'll do this, and dinner I'll do this as well. Sweet potatoes with the salmon. Switching it up this week, I'm finna do some bow tie pasta. You ever heard of that?
No, I haven't heard of that.
It's just like pasta with broccoli and protein. Season it up. So finance, I feel like, is the culminating effect of everything God's placed me in my life. And I realize now that God's showing me towards a path of freedom. And I used to actually think money was evil because I grew up in the church and my mom kind of read me those verses about money's the root of all evil. But it wasn't until I saw people using their money for good I realized how important it was. People like Nipsey Hussle. And that made me want to have finance because I know I don't, if I did music, want to be in the industry where you could tell me what I have to say and what my audience is. I know if I did modeling, I don't want to depend on you for a paycheck for what I do. And I don't want to work for a 9 to 5. So finance is something where I want to retire my mom. I want to take care of my mom. I want my nieces and nephews and little kids that I help teach and things around to be able to follow their dreams and create schools. And I realized I just had these dreams to actually give other people opportunities, especially in my community first. And money was going to take all of that. There's just no way other than that. Music could be a way as too, but finance is just something you can really touch everybody, and everybody definitely needs it. I would actually say it was like people on YouTube. So I saw a guy, 19 Keys and Nipsey Hussle. There were two people that I saw in the black community that were using their financial education and their spiritual education to bring light to our people and just to people in general. So I saw that they were able to have dominion or like control over their life, choose what they wanted to do, what they would respect or what they would like follow. And I was like, yo, I really like that. I want to do that for my family and just for my life in general. So I started researching what they were doing. And like Nipsey Hussle, he does music and finance. And I was like, oh, that's something I would love to do. So I was trying to figure out how could I monetize my music to not only help people, but to also have financial freedom for myself. That's a big theme in my life as of recent. I feel like it's the path I'm on. And I do think that music at first was freedom because you get to express who you are and nobody can tell you what it is, or what you can say. And I get to hear myself. Sometimes you don't understand what you're feeling until you put it into a song and you hear it played back. But then finances was different because obviously, you're not making money off of a song just by putting it out. It helps spiritually, but I realized like starting modeling, doing music, and even in my 9 to 5 careers that I didn't want to depend on being picked or liked or chosen for what I wanted to do. I wanted to have the funds and the ability to choose what I want to do, whether music, finances, or anything. I think my most proud moments, well, first I'll start with that I don't think there's anything I should have, would have, or could have fixed. Sometimes I feel like that, but my journey is so important in every step I've learned because if I was perfect, and I kind of am a perfectionist, but if I was perfect, I wouldn't have learned to be the person or have the character I do today. So I feel like I'm most proud of myself for realizing a lot of our problems is that we don't even realize we have a problem. So realizing I had a drug problem and actually taking the time to fix it, realizing that I needed finances and I was in a bad situation, taking the time to study, or realizing that my body was not taking the best things in for me to even live optimally or live a long time. That was important to realize and to act on. And so I'm super proud of myself from going from them places to getting here, and also not just taking myself, like having a spirit to want to help other people. I think that's most important. I would say to my younger self or to anybody in the places I was, you're not going to figure out what your purpose is today, and you're not going to understand yourself today. So the best thing you can do is try different things, and you'll learn what you don't like, what you won't accept, and what your boundaries are. And when you do, make sure you act on them so you can go ahead and start getting on the path to where you want to be. Just love yourself through the entire journey. You won't be perfect, but you will get it to where you want to be, and you'll learn so much more in the process.